I try to keep my kids away from social media until they're 18.
Shut up, really? It ruins many aspects of your physical life.
I fully
as well.
expect that I'm going to get canceled for this.
It took us 20 years to start realizing that cancel culture has its own limits.
Yeah.
One of the few immediately recognizable advantages that I see of the election of Donald Trump. To me, he's the first living proof that cancel culture has its limitations. All of the scriptural references used in this episode will be brought to you by scripturenotes.com. For a free trial to Scripture Notes, please visit the link in the description. Hey guys, we got a really important video coming up where Jeff Borders, the author of the Antichrist Playbook, tells us a little bit about how to reduce our fear of cancel culture and how it muzzles us as a society. We're members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So please make sure you check out plainandpreciouspublishing.com to get a copy of his book. If you want a ticket to the launch event that's going on in Orem, Utah on March 7th, or you also want the free shirt that comes with it, make sure you check out the Ticket Tailor link that is also going to be in the description. Get a free copy of the book and a free shirt if you show up to the launch event. And big shout out to our listeners who have been purchasing products for us from Amazon wishlist. Our Amazon wishlist is bumping and every little bit helps. These are actually little adapters that are constantly breaking for some reason and are how we actually can all listen to each other in the studio when we're talking. And these were brought to us again by Court. Thank you very much for your generosity, Court. Without any further ado, roll tape.
Every elders quorum, it's always a fight, to the point where my one of my best friends, Ben, he's like, do you need me in priest quorum? Because I don't want to be in elders quorum anymore.
So there's some liberal guy ruining.
It's like,
no, because actually,
the
no,
quorum
liberals
of the 12 is too white.
No, see, what people don't realize is Mormons are liberals. Like Mormons are very socially liberal and very pluralist.
And maybe liberal is the wrong word. He's advocating for.
You mean socially progressive?
Correct.
Yeah.
Progressive.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
So what is he saying?
I mean, like it'd be like the Q12 is too white or something like that. Because somebody will say something like, "Isn't it amazing that we've got all these people from all over the world in the quorum of the 12 and the quorum of the 70s?" And it's like, nah, it's just a bunch of old white men. Like, yeah, okay. Like,
they're called for life, right? Like, and
like
that Russell M. Nelson,
a long time.
Russell M. Nelson was born in the 20s of last century, dude.
And guaranteed that there will probably be some African American apostles in the close future. Because
dude, the way the church is blowing up in Africa, they're going to run the show in a decade or two, man.
You're going to have Elder Dubé, who's like, he held my face like a little baby. Like that guy. He's going to be...
I don't recognize
he was talking about President Monson or Elder Holland or something like that.
Okay, cool,
he's like
cool.
one of the 70s. He's
I don't remember
West
that.
Africa.
All right,
but anyway,
okay.
that dude, he's going to be in there. Like, you're going to have some of these guys that are like... I guess we gloss over Suarez and Gong.
Uh-huh.
It's just a bunch of old white guys.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, in all fairness, Gong is probably the most forgettable during a conference. Like I love the guy. He's had some great and wonderfully wise things, but like he would be a perfect.
He's not a firebrand, that's for sure.
Yeah, he would be the perfect CIA operative. Like how
they don't have an aura around him.
So one of my buddies was recruited to do. He was actually a private investigator, and then sometimes he would do intelligence work, minor stuff. We're not talking big stuff. Although who knows? Maybe he was.
Maybe
right?
he was, yeah.
But what was funny was he was a mid-sized Jewish guy with very forgettably sandy blonde hair, and he was like handsome enough that if he popped up in a family photo, he wasn't drop dead gorgeous, but he also wasn't ugly.
Like he didn't stick out.
He just there was he was perfectly mid-sized. You know what I'm saying? Like there was nothing about him that stood out. It's like he looked as though AI had just drawn, just like AI draw me a perfectly middle of the road human
vanilla.
Being. Yeah. So he had good skin tone, but not dark. Also not white. Didn't look Mediterranean and Jewish, but also didn't look Anglo-Saxon. He just looked meh in a good way. You know what I'm saying? And so he was a private investigator, and he says, yeah, like my biggest asset is that like I'm just forgettable. Like, just, you know, what do I sound like on the phone? Nobody knows. What do I look like when I run through a cloud? Like, nobody knows. And he just loved doing private investigating and skydiving. I remember he was a big skydiver and a private investigator guy. But yeah, like that was his like claim to fame, was he was just like meh. Right? So anyway, where were we going with this?
You were talking about Elder Gong.
Oh, that was it. Like, yeah, sorry. So Elder Gong, like he should get into intelligence work, because that guy just like
he already is.
Like when he talks, you know why Bob Ross got such high ratings? So many people went to bed listening to him.
Okay.
Yeah, since he was on NPR at like the time of day when most people were going to bed and stuff. And they said that like his voice was soothing. He ended up being like ASMR before ASMR was ASMR, right? And so like with Elder Gong, like he's a nice guy. He's unimpeachable. He's a kind man. I wouldn't even say a nice.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah, he's hyper intelligent. He makes doctrinal connections, but he's also very like, he's the doctor that before he goes in and does surgery says, okay, well, this is threatening this part of this circulatory system. We will go and we will remove this. Then recovery will take about 3 to 4 days and you should have a successful recovery. Instead of saying, we're going to go in and take it out and you're going to live again, baby. You know what I'm saying? He's like, just like, he's very matter of fact. And he's like the most forgettable of the 12 apostles. I love the man. But sometimes I just want to be like, yo, come over here, Gong. Like, come over here, baby. We're talking salvation, brother. We're talking salvation. You know what I'm saying? Like, here. See Joel Osteen?
Yeah.
Like, just I want to watch reruns of Joel Osteen. Now, just don't charge people so much. We got the don't charge them down,
we don't
right?
Need that, yeah.
We got that, right? But here, let's watch some reruns of Joel Osteen, baby. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, keep going.
That's funny. No, I got nothing left. So
okay, cool. So yeah, I don't know how we got on this topic.
No, I don't even know.
What were we talking about?
I have no clue.
This is what happens in the WardRadio worship. I'm still recording, so it had to be about something.
I don't even remember where we were.
You know, neither do I. It was so fun. So, oh yeah, I know you said there was a liberal guy in your ward that was
progressive. We decided it was progressive. You know?
And that he was progressive. So. And he was ruining it by saying, "Oh, there's just a bunch of old white guys."
Yeah, I mean that's
Never
just
mind.
Like if you're just looking for offense, right? You're, I don't know I don't know what you know.
Now, so we know what the opposite of being kind is. It's actually nice. So the counterfeit of Christ-like kindness is actually just suburban niceness. Mm-hmm. Okay, what is the counterfeit? Well, not the counterfeit, but like, what is it when you're doing the opposite? What's the antonym? So what is it when people are corrupting liberal values into
progressivism?
Cultural Marxism. What's the antonym of that duality right there? So if you've got kindness corrupted into niceness, what's the antonym of that? Kindness corrupted into fault finding? Would that be the scriptural?
Probably, yes. Because I think that accompanies a lot of it. Fault finding, looking for a way to be offended or to find something wrong.
Who are the worst fault finders of our day?
That is a great question, and I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. No, I think some could say the Christian right in the 80s and 90s was a little bit fault finding. I think so. They couldn't chill out for a while. But also I think that's far less dangerous for society than this new breed of fault finding that you get in cancel culture and cultural Marxism,
yes, absolutely,
and social progressivism. Because if worse comes to worse, it just ruins your social life. At best, it ruins just your social life. At worst, there's no fire in the hydrants. Right. You know, and it ruins many aspects of your physical life.
I fully expect that I'm going to get canceled for this. No,
really?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I think people know my heart. People know me.
Okay, cool.
But it probably is the cancel culture type of experience. In fact, I brought this up in Sunday school last week, and we were talking about fearing man more than fearing God, and people were listing all kinds of stuff, and I just put my hand up and I was like, I know not everybody in this room is down with social media, but kids today really have to worry about the fear of being canceled for saying something unpopular or that somebody deems unpopular. And a few people turned around to me and I don't know if they either hadn't heard that word or even understood what it meant. But it is true. Like the generation below us, and even our generation to a certain extent, people will try to ruin you if you say something that they deem as unpopular.
Yeah, I think actually a lot of millennials' failure to launch in the eyes of boomers and some other Gen Xers is first off because they ruined the economy, so there wasn't enough money to afford the launch pad. And second off is they do not understand the mental burden that cancel culture does cast upon the sociability of a young man, especially. It's very, very difficult on women. And we know that post 2014, their self-reported depression and anxiety has skyrocketed in almost direct correlation to their usage of social media. But also,
absolutely.
There's other measurable quantifiers such as birth rate, sexual activity, and dating in the men that show the burden that cancel culture has on the psyche of men in our country and in our society. And I was, oh man, it broke my heart. But I was a scoutmaster for a troop of 12 boys. I loved these boys. They were amazing young men. They were great. The dumbest, most annoying one of them had just beautiful qualities about him, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
Not one of them wasn't like a cool kid, right? In some way, and they were so unique and just so different, and they could band together over different issues, and it was like watching the Goonies in real time, right? It was one of my most one of my most enjoyable volunteer efforts in all of my time of church service was being assistant scoutmaster to these young men. And the thing, though, is one thing they all agreed on. They didn't agree on anything, whether or not anime was cool, whether or not Marvel movies were fun, these brothers could not agree on anything other than, whoa, watch out before you even look at a girl. Like, whoa, like, you're going to go out with a girl? Like, are you recording it? Like, you haven't texted her like anything that could be screenshotted, right? Like, I mean, and they were just more mortified because they saw the bloodbath of just everybody's lives that have been ruined by false accusations that could be made at the drop of the hat. And they knew that their boomer and Gen Xer parents at that time, because that was still young enough that not a lot of millennials were having kids, would just believe the girl because you got to hashtag believe all women.
Right,
and that was, and they just knew. They're like, oh, dude, don't talk to her. Like, no. And I would chide them a little bit. I'd be like, guys, why aren't you going out and getting your driver's license? And they'd be like, I don't need to drive.
Yeah, they're like,
why?
Why would I need to do that?
Why? And I was like, come on, don't you want to take girls out on dates? They're like, oh, no way, dude. No. You can't, like, what? No, I don't. And they would reel, not out of fear, but out of like, they wouldn't reel out of fear of social embarrassment. They would reel out of fear of existential collapse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it used to be, if you had a pickup line for that cute redheaded girl over there and you wanted to, I don't know, do some pun about red ice cream, redhead, red whatever, like do some ice bake. If you flopped in front of your friends, you flopped. And you'd never live it down. And your 5 buddies that watched
they
you.
would harass you forever.
They would harass you forever. But it was limited to those 5 buddies. And it's kind of a funny inside joke.
Yeah.
And I flopped and it was stupid, right? But now, that stuff gets recorded. Oh, now you're a meme. Now everybody, anywhere, anytime, it's a bloodbath in the streets. And it took us 20 years to start realizing that cancel culture has its own limits.
Yeah.
And millennials were the sacrificial generation that had to first learn that lesson. And I think we're only coming out of it now.
Yeah.
Which might actually be one of the few immediately recognizable advantages that I see of the election of Donald Trump, because it's only been, like a month since he's been in
30
office.
days or whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
And, we try not to talk too much politics in this class, but to me, he's the first living proof that cancel culture has its limitations. Like, just like Joseph Smith said, like, when he had that Q&A with God in Doctrine and Covenants, and he was like, what does the eternal damnation mean? And God was like, it is eternal because it is mine and I am eternal. Therefore, eternal damnation can have an end, basically, once I decide. And progress will also be eternal as well. And that was a great revelation. and it showed that, okay, cool, like damnation does indeed have an end, I think we're kind of realizing, oh, it does have an end. And it cost millennials hard. Millennials average first childbirth is like 8 years later than their parents was.
Which is crazy.
Their first year of owning a house, I think average age of like first year homeownership is like 38 to 42 now. And it used to be like 29 or 31 or something like that.
I know I'm a variant. I was, we were married when we were 20. We had our first kid at 22. So
jeez,
definitely a variant.
Was this arranged, bro?
Yeah.
Holy crap! At 20, dog.
20. We were young. Yeah.
Jeez, that's babies having babies, dude.
But we
like,
had dated for 2 years prior, so we were solid. So.
Jeez.
Yeah, but we were ready. And I
just be honest. Did you knock her up? Was she preggo before you got married?
No.
Oh
she
man.
was not.
I'm just kidding. That's usually the case.
No.
If it's that young, like back in the 60s and 70s, it was. But okay, that's cool. Wow. So keep going. Keep telling your story.
That's that's just it. Like I think part of it is just, you talked about it. The failure to launch comes a lot from that fear of being canceled, your life ruined, whatever, and it's gonna come, and I don't know how to navigate that completely in an online world, but we're navigating it, and
word, cool.
I try to keep my kids away from social media until they're 18.
Shut up, really?
Yeah, and to be fair to my kids, they haven't asked. They have not asked for social media. My oldest got Facebook and Instagram when he graduated because he.
Well, no wonder he's not interacting too much. Facebook's like a snooze fest.
No,
bro.
totally. But he got Instagram because all his friends had Instagram in college. But the rest of them, they haven't asked for it.
Really?
And I don't know if we just don't make a big deal about it. Like we haven't outright said, like, no, you're not having that. But it's pretty much a known thing, like because we've had a lot of conversations on, I don't want your life to get ruined by something stupid you say online. Let me do that. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. Let me get out of my way, son. Hold my Mormon beer. Hold my Mountain Dew, bruh.
No, but I know plenty of kids who are 14, 15. I mean, I live in a very affluent neighborhood and kids have smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
My kids, like, until they were hit junior high, they didn't have a phone.
Really?
And even then, my daughter keeps it at home. When she goes off to high school, we'll let her take it with her.
Do you just have crazy overachiever, socially different kids, or is this like?
I don't know what I did, because I won't say I'm a horrible parent, but I've tried to be good.
Because I get the little alert on my daughter's iPad because, she had cancer, so she has to have a much larger screen, I think, to feel comfortable because 49% of her vision was gone. So I know she watches. It probably has something to do with her vision. So I actually got her an iPad that has FaceTime and stuff. So she'll call me on like this big iPad, and she's got this little sling that she has. But my daughter hates that 30-minute screen time. Stop on YouTube Kids. When that comes up, I hear her in the other room. She's like, I hate this. And then she presses the button. I get the alert on my phone with a request for 15 more minutes.
They do have screen time on other electronics, and they do watch a lot of TV. And I don't know. I never had to. Not that I'm not worried about my kids, but they just have never asked.
Is there anything you've been able to do to effectively not vilify social media and scare them away from it? Because I really don't think shame-based enforcement or fear-based enforcement is the most effective. Values-based enforcement, I think, is the most effective. So what have you found as a father has helped you actually, succeed in that?
Well, and I think I've talked to them about what I actually use social media for. For instance, I use it to promote my books, all that kind of stuff. So, but then I use it to connect with my grandma, who I don't see a lot, and she loves when I post pictures of what my kids are doing.
There's a lot of boomer viewers of this channel that just went, oh,
yeah, like so my grandma, my relatives who don't live close, so they see what we're using it for. I'm not getting on there and engaging in whatever, but so, and they see me doing it. They see what I'm doing with it. So they see how it's used appropriately. So we try to teach them how to use the electronics appropriately.
Yeah. Does your book have anything on social media in it?
I don't know. I can't remember that. I don't think there is, actually. That may be a future book. I don't know. I mean, here's the biggest worry that I come downstairs, my son's asleep on the couch, he's watching YouTube. I'm like, what the crap is he watching? He's watching Minecraft videos.
Yeah.
He's watching Nick DiGiovanni cooking videos. He's watching Gordon Ramsay. Like, I'm like, okay, I guess I can like take a chill. I come downstairs and he's watching Jordan Peterson. I'm like, okay, whatever, man. I'll go back upstairs. You know, I don't know what I did to deserve these kids, but like, my daughter's like, hey, where'd Brett Cooper go? I want to watch your new station. Like, so,
what?
I mean, I am not indoctrinating my kids. They came to me like this. So.
Jordan Peterson, Red Skull is doing it for you. That's funny. So you just feel like you lucked out and had good kids, huh?
I lucked out. I don't know. They're amazing.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. I think I did the same too. I can't complain. So anyway, the book, in case we haven't publicized it enough, bro. The book is the Antichrist Playbook. You're the author, Jeff Borders, and it is available at plainandpreciouspublishing.com. If you guys want to support the channel, please make sure you go to WardRadio.com and check out the War in Heaven veteran line of clothing and apparel. We got all kinds of cool hats. We also got shirts. Everybody wants to get a shirt right there for Ward Radio. Stretch your stuff. I want to start having some kind of uniform day where like viewers of the show, like every Friday, you know what I'm saying? They can, they can like point each other out in public or something. We gotta get something like that going sometime soon. But yeah, if you go to wardradio.com, you can buy a shirt there. And also, if you are a person of means and you'd like to contribute to the channel, please consider a generous donation through Zelle or through Venmo. We got a Venmo account. Some people love hitting us up through Venmo. And like we say, in our live streams, it's been real and it's been fun. It's been real fun. For this and more, please make sure you check us out at wardradio.com. Hey guys, big shout out to Jeff Borders for his new book, The Antichrist Playbook. We hope you liked this conversation with him a lot. And if you want to hear more, or you're better at reading than you are listening, please make sure you check out this book, The Antichrist Playbook. I got to write the foreword for it. It was the first time I was able to write a foreword for a book, and I think it's the perfect time for such a publication. It's a perfect gift for your friends, for your family. It's a fast read. Make sure you check out the links in the description for the launch event, as well as links for our Zelle, our Cash App, our Discord, wardradio.com, the newsletter, the whole 9 yards. It's all there. We will see you guys in the next video.